Hello and welcome to this week of Gear Report. We're going to dive in and start talking about, well, actually, let me tell you what our agenda is. The agenda for the show every week is we're going to go over everything that's been published since the show last week. We'll talk about things that are in the review queue that are upcoming, and then, the infamous shit shooting portion of the show, which will be interspersed throughout. You may notice if you have seen the show before, our background has completely changed. Well, I say completely. Some of these guitars here you may have seen in prior shows. We were facing that wall. Flying Rich here with the appropriate number of yos. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that, Rich. We appreciate you being here. More importantly, we appreciate 3 yos. It's 3 or nothing. Everyone knows that. And you can ask your question this time. There you go. Right on cue. TJ's on vacation. So this is one of those tricky situations where if he shows up, is he going to be 2/3 lit? And, is it better if he's not here? I don't know. If he shows up, then we will certainly have that evidence for us to judge on our own. So let's see. Let me get to our banner menu over here, and I will put up, well, we always start with recently published reviews. So as I load the other screen, we're going to go with, let's just do the entire, no, we won't do the entire screen. We'll do the window over on the other screen. All right, we will come back and talk about the Odyssey stuff there. And, it is kind of a shame. The one kind of downside of TJ not being here is this review of the Wolfpack Armory CSR, which, well, I'll tell you what that is in just a second. CSR 5.56 AR pistol has been in the works for a while. We did kind of a preview video at the Iraq Veteran 8888 Range Day last year, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. And then after that, after that was over, it took a little while for this AR pistol to be custom built for TJ and then sent to him. And he has been doing his due diligence, taking it to the range. And I'm pretty sure he took it out to Hunter's Envy, the outdoor facility that his brother helps to run in Central Florida, as well as Frog Bones, his local indoor range. So he has put, I see some outdoor shots here. So I suspect he's done some outdoor and indoor shooting. He gave this a pretty strong 4 out of 5 gears. And for anyone who doesn't remember, this isn't Amazon, where if it's not a perfect 5, it's a problem. 5 is perfection. We've never given a 5. I doubt we ever will. Who knows? Maybe the perfect product's out there. On a rare occasion, we'll give a 4.5. Normally, decent products get a 3 or 3.5. So a 4, that's actually a pretty big deal. So, and I also have to kind of talk brands off the ledge every now and then because they get freaked out. Like, what do you mean a 3.5 or a 4? Like, no, that's actually pretty good. So, anyhow, I encourage you, if you have any interest in AR pistols, and you should buy a couple before the government makes it illegal for us to own anything, but especially AR pistols. Definitely go check these out. We've got a link for Wolfpack Armory there, and we've even got some video linked in here as well. So definitely check it out. Read the pros and cons. See if you can figure out why TJ gave it a 4 out of 5. And of course, he's got the full specs down there. So that's it. I'm not giving you any more. You have to go read it if you have an interest. And then we know AJ out on the West Coast has been working his way through the, I believe you pronounce it Barwaris. So he's been working his way through their products for AKs. So this time we have the BW 347 flash hider, Squelch the Flame. He's really getting creative with some of his titles. And you see here 3.5, so that means a bit above average, where the 4 stands out as the top option in the product class and price point. 3.5 is still above average. That's a pretty good rating if you would like to understand why and what all AJ compared that to, like this Noveske KX5 flash suppressor, then I highly encourage you to come check out this review and tell me that doesn't look like a can. I mean, that from these angles, that has a striking resemblance to a silencer, but you see it's completely open at the end, so it's directing the sound forward. Although this is designed as a flash hider, not a sound redirecting device. Although I think there is plenty of utility in anything that directs the sound away from the shooter and the people closest to the shooter, so that you don't go deaf while you're out there practicing or recreational shooting or hunting or defending yourself or whatever. Okay, and the last of the recently published reviews we have from a guest author. Sean sends things in every now and then, and he doesn't generally want his name attached to it for whatever reason. But Riverside camping tools every camper must have. He went with the number 8. This isn't 5. This isn't 10. He went with 8 for some odd reason. But it's kind of a neat list: a boat, safety gear, a camping tent, fishing gear, a cooler, portable fire pit, camping chairs, and of course on each one of these he talks about key features and why you might want some of these things, and wraps it up there at the end. So if you've ever thought about not just camping, but camping beside a body of water, you may want to check this out and see if you have any other thoughts on that. There are no ratings because this wasn't a review. It's more of a helpful list if you happen to be going out and doing some camping by a body of water. Okay, so while we have this other window open, let's talk about what I'm showing here. I don't know how many people are actually aware of this platform. It's called Odyssey, and it is another video hosting option. So everyone thinks about YouTube, I think, when we publish video, and man, this is not wanting to load quickly while we are consuming bandwidth broadcasting. Maybe we'll come back to that. But so the deal here is you have to have a certain number of subscribers on YouTube, and when you hit that, when you hit different tiers, then Odyssey will automatically copy videos over. So the main Gear Report video channel has got thousands and thousands of subscribers, so everything that we publish on the main Gear Report channel gets automatically backed up and copied over on the main Gear Report channel here on Odyssey. And the Gear Report camping channel is new enough. We've got, I think last time I checked, we were a little over 125 subscribers. That got us over 100, meant that they would start backing up. They would start copying the videos off of YouTube. So they poll YouTube every day or multiple times a day. I'm not sure how they do it. And if there are any new videos, they copy them over. Well, until we get to the next tier of subscribers on YouTube, we're limited in how many videos they will copy over to 25. And I think we've got over 100 videos on the Gear Report, Camping Gear Report YouTube channel already. Although many of those are shorts, we've got far more than the 25 they have here. We also tried to queue up the Gear Report Firearms channel and the Gear Report Guitars channel. Neither one of those has enough subscribers yet because they are brand spanking new. Neither one of those has enough subscribers that Odyssey would copy it yet. So I'd like to ask, if y'all haven't found Odyssey yet, go check it out. I mean, you can see the main Gear Report channel. We got a whopping 32 followers. That's not quite the same as the thousands that we have on the Gear Report YouTube main channel. But you can see they've grabbed recent things that we've published, a bunch of shorts up there, as well as some of our live streams. It actually shows this as live on here right now. If I had better bandwidth, I'd click that and see if it's actually streaming on Odyssey as well. I honestly don't know. It's the first time I've seen one that showed live. You know what? I'm going to click it. I just got to see. I got to see what's happening here, if it's actually bringing it in live or not. It may crash our stream here just because I'm using too much bandwidth, but we'll see. And then the Gear Report, the Camping Gear Report channel, you see also has been copied over, and it's got, it stopped at 25, so it's got some of the, look at that. It is actually picking it up live. That is fantastic. See, I was not aware that Odyssey would pick up our live stream as well. Although now that I say that, I set that up within our streaming software. So that's not picking it up from YouTube. That's actually streaming live there. So that's something that's been available that I just forgot about. So we're on so many different places now with Gear Report that I even keep forgetting how many places we are. So you can see, I'm going to copy. I should not have closed that one because I wanted to share these links here. That is the Odyssey Camping Gear Report link there. And let's see, this is the main Odyssey page. You can see Ghost Tactical's got a bunch of videos up there. And see if there's anyone else we know that pops up. Pop culture. Yeah, I don't think I want to go down any rat holes with that. But Odyssey, you know, it's a neat platform. They're an anti-censorship platform, which I like. So go check them out and follow our links. I'm going to grab the main Gear Report channel link and drop that in our comments as well. So yeah, it's a neat setup. They use some sort of like cyber currency where you can boost the distribution of some of your videos. I think, I mean, honestly, I'm not even completely clear on how that works. Kind of like some of the other places where we automatically spawn our videos. I don't know everything about them, but I do know that if YouTube goes away, we have some other places where the videos are, so that we're not going to lose all of those. Oh, and we've got some more people who have shown up. Honcho Fett squeezing 3 yo's in there in a rather festive way. We appreciate that. Gary, it's yo, yo, yo. Me, well, I guess that'll work, but whatever. People being nice, saying hey to each other. Look at that. We have such cordial folks here. So for the new folks who just showed up midstream, TJ is on vacation, so he blessed us by not showing up. TJ, I don't want to say he's a party animal, but we all know he's a party animal. It's probably best that he's not here when he's on vacation. So that worked out. Of course, that means you just get me tonight. So we've already gone through our 3 things that have been published. That means it is time to dive into upcoming reviews. So I can show you something real quick here. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it's not too bright. Apexel is what this is called. And it's actually, let's see, am I pushing the right button here? Yes, you can see it's a night vision. And let's see if the camera will pick that up. Yeah, so you can see it has a huge screen in there. So it looks like, you know, I would expect to use it like this, right? But actually our lens is out here. So you hold it up this way and it's got HDMI. Excuse me, no, that's USB-C. USB-C, yes, and an SD card for recording. It's the other one that has HDMI. So anyhow, I've been waiting for batteries. This takes the 18650 batteries, and they failed to include them when they sent this review unit, and I didn't have any spares. So this has just been sitting around waiting for the batteries to come in. So they finally showed up, and I actually meant to take this out and test it last night after I put the batteries in, but then I plugged it in to charge and forgot to go back out once it got dark. So that is an upcoming review. we'll see. This ORDRO 4K gimbal. We've talked about this a couple times in recent weeks. I've shown it a couple times, and unfortunately, the last two times I took it out and used it, I had issues with when I would open the app on my phone, which is kind of important because the way this works is it sits up here, so I can't see what's in frame. I can't see if the edge of my glasses or if I wore this while I was driving the Humvee and supporting the Army for their Robin Sage exercise a few weeks ago. And Loafing Joe, welcome. Good to see you. So I had pulled up my phone, and you can link via Wi-Fi directly to the camera and display in real time what's on the screen, and you can start and stop recording. And actually, I was having really good luck. I had this camera; it had a memory card problem, but it was on the front bumper of the Humvee, kind of looking back, so we could see when the 240 that was in the turret started firing. I was looking for glorious footage there, and we had a memory card problem, but the app was working phenomenally for starting and stopping the camera. It was just choking on the memory card. So this one, I needed to be able to see how it was recording, and it worked great for a little while. And I don't know if it overheated or what, but it just quit. It would lock up, and I had to find something to poke in the little reset hole to get it to even shut off or do anything. So I brought it home and recharged it, and maybe I should swap the memory card in here as well and see if that fixes it. I don't know, but I took it to the Cars and Coffee show last weekend and wore it while I was walking around, and it worked okay until I fired the app up and tried to connect to it, and then it locked up. And it did that a couple times, so I just got, pushed the little reset button, tossed it in my bag in the truck, and that was that. So I need to try a different memory card, make sure it's fully charged, do a little bit more troubleshooting and testing. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to reach out to the manufacturer and say, hey, do you really want me to complete the review when it's not working correctly? So we'll see where that goes. That may or may not be on the way. And I know we talked in prior weeks about the various guns that are in my review queue. I think what's going to come up first is the Global Ordnance, the 10 millimeter pistol. And obviously, we've got a couple Maxim Defense, PDW, and an MD9 that are in the queue, and the AREX 0S2. Love that pistol. That is in the review queue. The Taurus G3C Toro, we've got that with, I think that's a Hollow Sun optic, a little red dot that's on that. And I want to say there was one more, the Sky, their pistol with the optics cut and the striker fire, as opposed to their old school one that had the super heavy trigger. So those are all in my review queue, as well as, and I can't reach them. I've got some camping gear, some trekking poles, and some other things. So tons of products around the office here in my queue that you'll see show up in reviews pretty soon. And I can tell you that I've been working on a couple different, I almost got one from Mitch, the Comfort Tac Ultimate Belly Band Holster. That review I started editing this morning, and then I got busy rearranging the studio so that I could get what I believe is a better background and better angle. And I did not get the lighting dialed in the way I want it, but I figured, it's acceptable at this point. So I went ahead and went with it. But yeah, so anyhow, that one's going to be probably tomorrow from Mitch. That belly band holster review will drop. And let's see, I'm going to refresh my WordPress over here. We have from Joe Rickliff's the Autumn Ultralight Juniper Hammock review. That one is just about ready. That one needs some more editing. We have from Bob the Arex Delta Gen 2 X optics ready pistol, which is kind of funny because that one was sent to me, and while it was en route, I was shopping around to see if I could find someone else to do that review because I had a little too much on my plate at the time. And Bob stepped up to do that. So I got to finish editing that one. And then one more from AJ for Barwaris, the Storm 47, which, we talked about. We just published a flash hider for the AK-47 from Barwaris. The Storm 47 is not a flash hider, it's a muzzle brake. So also for the AK-47. So those 4 are in my pending editing queue right now, waiting to be published. And I need to silence my phone. There we go. Let's see. Honcho Fett will have another knife review in a pipe soon. That's awesome. The last one was like a massive knife that was really, really cool looking. So I can't wait to see what Honcho Fett, which is the alias for one of our writers, if you hadn't figured that out yet. Teasers on his Instagram. Interesting. I'm not going to go try to find that live, but yeah, we don't want teasers. We don't want spoilers anyway. So let's see. What do you guys want to talk about? Any thoughts or comments that anyone wants to throw out there? Go ahead. We've already covered what's been published and what I have coming up in the queue, as well as things that are in the editing queue. I'd love to hear from anyone who's out there. Does this backdrop look any better than the last one? I was looking for a little bit more depth and trying to shake up the lighting a little bit. I've actually, you know what? I'm going to show you. Give me just a sec to grab something that's just behind the screen here. All right, so I got actually grabbed a couple things while I was up, some things that were just out of reach because I've been rearranging the office, and it's like a tornado went through up here. This is kind of interesting. This is a pack of different lengths of these little aluminum. Do you have any guesses what these are for? So that's another different length. And we've got a short one in here. And we've got some fittings. So if you hadn't guessed, this is a kit for mounting a GoPro camera. So the housing for the GoPro, has the little screw that goes at the bottom here. And, so we got different lengths here that can either be screwed together so that you have multiple pieces, or they can be used separately. So what I got this for is, and I'm hoping to actually get out this weekend. I haven't been sailing yet this year. So too many assault banjos. All right, I got to go back and catch up on some comments while we're talking here. Anyhow, I needed something, some better mounts to hook to various places on the racing boats when I go out sailing, and these should really be useful for that. And they may actually be useful relocating cameras and getting a little height on them when I go do things with the Humvee, like the military exercises, where I sometimes have trouble getting cameras exactly where I want them. Especially when I do the military exercises, I have to be careful not to get the faces of any of the active military people in the shot. So I may need to get a camera higher looking down so I get like the back of their heads and not their faces. And so those should help with that as well. Let's see. Oh, the Ghostess with the Mostess has joined us. Too many assault banjos. I don't think we even have a banjo visible tonight. I could go get the banjo. It's around the corner over there, hanging on the wall. Here's something else that has arrived for review recently: the LifeStraw Peak Series Gravity Water Filter System. If you're not familiar with gravity filters, it's a really neat concept of you have a dirty water bag that you fill up from like a creek or stream or whatever, and it has a tube that comes out and goes into a filter. And I actually haven't even opened this one. It looks like this may have the filter right here. So then gravity pushes the water through the filter and then down into whatever you're filling. Yeah, it looks like this one, the filter may be up in there somewhere. Haven't even opened it yet. Gonna have to open that soon. I've got a couple different gravity filter systems that I've reviewed in years past, so I thought that would be a neat one to add to the list for our backpacking and camping types. Okay. Oh, people being nice to Ghost. Good. All right. I appreciate you guys being cordial out there. And something that I see most people are coming in through YouTube this evening. So I'm going to ask that on future programs, if you don't mind coming in through the Gear Report Firearms YouTube channel, I could really use some help getting the watch time up on that platform. So I'm actually streaming on both the Gear Report channel, because I learned the hard way a couple weeks ago. If I don't warn people and just switch over to the Gear Report Firearms channel, then people don't know, and they get lost. So I got a par light. This is a this is like a mountable mounting bracket, and I actually haven't taken the plastic off of it yet. This U-shaped bracket will go around, and this is mountable like on a scaffolding or on a post. I've got a bunch of different light holder posts, and it has the different barn door things up here on the front to control where it goes and where it doesn't. So this will somehow fit on here. It looks like I'm gonna have to screw that on, but anyhow, I've got this light, and it has got a whole variety of digital controls for the I think the color, temperature, and the brightness. So I'm looking forward to getting this set up. It's actually more complicated than I expected it to be, with some kind of funky looking cables here. So you can plug it into automated light control systems. That is more sophisticated than I am, but appreciate that, Hacho Fett. We definitely need more watch time over on that Gear Report Firearms channel, as we're trying to get that started and build some relevance in YouTube, so the algorithm won't beat us up too bad. But anyhow, I've got this par light that I've got to figure out where to set it up in here. It's part of the mood lighting package that I'm trying to put together to really kind of raise our game a little bit in terms of presenting better video for folks when we do our live streams, and also if I do any kind of desktop product reviews, which I'd actually like to start doing a bit more of those again as well. So anyhow, thoughts or comments from anyone out there, please go ahead and leave them in the chat, because I am running out of new things to talk about. Unless we want to get political, I don't know if we want to go down that road, because I have a feeling that we've seen in the past that YouTube doesn't like when people have opinions that differ from them or their political allies. And I have a feeling that if I start talking, I'm going to go down that road. So I think what I will say is some of the things happening in the U.S. government have damn near left me speechless. Yeah. Yeah. I'm scared for our country. Legitimately scared. I don't see how, as much as I hate the thought of it, I don't see how within the next 5 years or so we aren't in some sort of civil war, at least regionally, if not complete nationally. Um, and the politicians seem to be driving like it seems like they're doing it on purpose. So I'm completely baffled in that regard. And pretty scared as a parent. My kids are getting old enough they could start having kids here pretty soon, and it terrifies me, the thought that the way our government seems to be pushing to divide people. What's the world going to look like for the young people who are coming up and going to have kids here in the next 5 or 10 years? It's kind of terrifying to me. So let's see, what else can we talk about today? You can see that in our backdrop here, I've kind of gone all in with the guitars in the background. And instead of just the ones on the wall that we had over here, which you can still see some of them are kind of off camera up here. Um, so this one would have been over my right shoulder in the shot for the past year or so, year and a half probably, where I've had the desk that I use for broadcasting set up. That one would have been right over my right shoulder, or maybe kind of behind my right shoulder, and these would have been off to my right, just going off camera. So now we've turned the whole camera this direction. So instead of pointing at the flat wall, we're going back into the corner to give us a little bit more depth and give me some more room where I can play with lighting. You can never have too many guitars or guns. Yeah, I mean, clearly that is the theme that I have embraced. But although I would say, I've I got to the point where I was like, I don't have room to put any more guitars. At least the gun room, I've got a variety of gun racks in there, and because they stay locked up when I'm not actively doing something with them. They don't clutter up the main office studio space because they're locked in the secure gun room. The guitars, however, until I got like back over here, you see on the wall, you can see 3 guitars. There are actually 5 on that row. I wonder if we could just rotate the desk a little bit here. Yeah, so there's 5 of them up on the wall there. And until I got that, and I was using stands like the little one you see behind the comment down here. That's a little fold up stand that holds it at the bottom, and then kind of cradles the neck up here as well. And I actually have 2 guitars sitting on that one. And I like these hangers. You can see on the other wall, those are independent hangers, whereas the ones up here, it's a metal track, and then it's got 5 little hooks that I can move around. All of these others are actually screwed into the wall, and they're flat, where these are angled so I can fit them closer together. So this system over here has let me get more of them up off of those racks. Although you can see down here, oh, which one? That side. Nope. Man, why is this so hard for me to figure out where the camera is? That's what, 8 or 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 9 of them on that rack down there. And so I've gotten away from the little independent stands, and it's helped me to not be tripping over guitars. But the problem becomes, while having lots of guitars isn't that bad when you can get them on mass racks like this or up on the walls out of the way, many of them have cases, and I am really struggling with where to put all those cases, which the guitar cases and gun cases are something I haven't solved yet today as I've been reorganizing the office. Right over here, I've got about 12 guitar cases, hard cases, and stacks of soft cases. And then back in this corner over there, I have stacks of gun cases, and I haven't figured out what to do with either one of those. So if anyone has ideas on how to store guitar cases, which probably need to be in temperature, humidity controlled environment, and gun cases, which are all plastic and foam and don't have to be temperature and humidity controlled, definitely leave me some comments on those. All right, folks. Well, this may be a quick show. I'm not seeing too many comments. I'm afraid to get too political here and go down that road. So, you know what? I could wonder if you can see back here. Oh, see, I just exposed one of my lights back there, but you can see just above it. So right here is a touch screen. That's a 7-inch touch screen on the Headrush gig board, a little emulator. It's basically like a computer that duplicates the amps and speakers and all the different guitar effects, and it'll make the guitar sound like anything. Really amazing little piece of hardware. I've been playing with that a bit lately, and running it through this little guy here is a little 20-watt amplifier, and I'm running it in through the return side of the effects loop, so none of the built-in preamp or distortion or overdrive, any of the effects that are built into that little amp are doing anything. All I'm doing is amplifying increasing the volume, using the power amp side of that little amplifier to run that Headrush through the big PV speaker cabinet that you see right down here under the Marshall amp. So, having fun with all of that stuff. So I'll tell you what, folks, with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I'd like to thank everyone who showed up tonight to chat. So Ghost, Honcho, Loafing Joe, Gizzard Gary, Flying Rich. I appreciate every single one of you popping in to say hi. Please come back next week. We actually had a guest scheduled for tonight, a brand that Matthew Komar had introduced us to that was going to show off some upgrade parts they're making for various firearms. And we ended up with a last-minute schedule conflict on the brand side where they thought they were going to be able to make it. And then as the day progressed, they're like, oh, yeah, I don't think we're going to be back in time. So check in next week. We're going to have another brand interview on the show. So that will be next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, like always. And if you don't mind checking us out on the Gear Report Firearms channel for that, that would be appreciated. So until then, we'll see you